Irashaimase. Hello and welcome to Fitaurus Kitchen. I'm your host, Chef Fitaurus. On this week's weekly gaming menu, we'll be covering this week's video game releases as well as a couple upcoming releases as well. There's also a little bit of video game news to go and talk about, and after that, I'll go and get to my own personal gaming menu. So with that said, let's get cooking. Tuesday goes and sees the release of some really anticipated titles. Firewatch goes and drops for the PlayStation 4 as well as the PC. We go and have the cute puzzle platformer Unravel going and unraveling on the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and the PC as well. We also go and get Bandai Namco's release of the latest Naruto title, Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm 4. And then there's also, just in time for Valentine's Day, the PS4 gets the great co-op title, Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time. So that would be a pretty fun Valentine's Day activity in my mind, but it might not go and work for every couple. Still, that would definitely go and be a recommendation for me. It's a great co-op title, so definitely go and check that one out. Moving on to later in the week, Wednesday goes and sees two really big releases in Japan. First, we have Senju no Valkyria Remaster for the PlayStation 4. So that's the remaster of Valkyria Chronicles. It's one that I'm really looking forward to, but we're not going to go and be seeing it in the United States for a few more months yet. But still, when it goes and comes out, I'll definitely be there for another playthrough through this beautiful game. And even though it looked great on the PlayStation 3, they've gone and cleaned things up just a little bit, and it looks even better on the PlayStation 4. So that's definitely one to go and keep your eye on. In addition to that one, there's also Shin Megami Tensei 4 Final releasing from Atlas. So keep in mind, this one isn't like a remake or a director's cut of Shin Megami Tensei 4. So bad naming aside, this one's more of a spin-off or its own title altogether. So if you're into the Shin Megami Tensei 4 or Shin Megami Tensei series in general, this is definitely one to go and keep an eye on. I'm not sure what they have as far as release windows for English releases, but since we did go and get Shin Megami Tensei 4, I feel there's a really high likelihood that we're going to go and be getting this title stateside, and hopefully soon as well. So moving on to next week, we go and have a couple of really anticipated titles going and releasing. On Tuesday, crossover title Project Cross Zone 2 goes and releases, and this was one that's got a huge cast of characters, a lot of which are personal favorites of mine. So I'm really going and looking forward to that, if for no other reason, just because of the cast itself. Crossover titles can go and kind of be a mixed bag, and the original Project X Zone, while a decent game, is definitely a long and grindy one. Although I haven't finished it myself, that's just what I've read and the information I know about the title. In addition to that, Capcom Street Fighter V goes and releases for the PlayStation 4 and PC. So this is definitely one to go and get excited about if you're a fan of fighting titles, as the Street Fighter series has always been at the core of versus fighting games. So definitely some hype there as well. And then on Friday, we go and get from Nintendo Fire Emblem Fate, Birthright and Conquest. So I'm a little mixed about going and having the two different flavors of Fire Emblem this time around, but I'm willing to go and give Nintendo and Intelligent Systems a chance on this one. As I loved Fire Emblem Awakening so much, I'm really going and looking forward to Fire Emblem Fates as well. Even if there has been a little bit of controversy about the Nintendo censorship or removal of certain parts of the game itself, I am still really looking forward to this title, and I'm probably going to go and lose weeks of my life to it. I'm excited about that. Next up, video game news. I really only have one story that I'm reporting on this week, and it's a relatively sad one. So after 13 years of operations, GameTrailers.com went and shut down on Monday. So GameTrailers, if you're not really familiar with the site, when it started, there wasn't really a whole lot of other locations on the internet where you could go and reliably get video game trailers. So they were kind of a pioneer in the field that way. But in recent years, with the growth of YouTube and as far as video sources and Twitch, the way that we go and consume video game news and information and go and get our video game trailers has changed radically. And even with E3, their coverage of E3 for years was some of the best coverage that you could go and get, but that's been diminishing in recent years as well. So with all of that, and having been recently acquired by a different company a couple years ago, they finally were shuttered this past Monday. So after 13 years of history, and I've got some great memories of going and watching E3s on GameTrailers.com. It's sad to go and see them go, so I hope everybody that has unfortunately been let go due to this is able to go and find new jobs quickly. And, well, thanks for all the memories, GameTrailers.com. And lastly, moving on to my own personal gaming menu, it's still relatively unchanged. So I'm still going and working my way through Yakuza 5, the Part 4 Shinada's route, and I've finally done with all of the extra sub-stories and extra trainings and whatnot, so I'm going to go and plow my way through the story and get to the final chapter of the game. And once I get to that point, I think things will snowball and I'll go and finish it up relatively rapidly. In addition to that, I'm still going and playing Code Realize. I'm getting close to going and finishing up St. Germain's route, but I didn't go and spend as much time with it over this weekend as I was initially planning to, so I'm not quite done with that. And then after I finish St. Germain's route, I just have Lupin's route as far as Code Realize is concerned. So I'm getting close to that one. I can definitely go and say it's a really enjoyable visual novel. Even though it is an otome title, I think it goes and works well for both males as well as the female audience that it was intended for. In addition to those two titles though, I have been going and picking up some speedrunning title that I've been going and practicing on Twitch. So I've been going and practicing speedruns of Battletoads and Battlemaniacs for the Super Nintendo. So if you're interested in going and watching me go and do any of those speedruns, I'll go and be announcing on my Twitter when I'm going live with that. And you can go and hop online and go and follow me through my mad, bad, and crazy Toads exploits. I'd love to go and have you if you want to go and come by and check anything out along those lines. In addition to that, I was planning on going and starting Digimon's Story Cyber Sleuth at some point, but I still haven't quite got there. When I do though, I plan to go and at least start streaming at least the beginning of the title. So once again, I'll go and be announcing that one on my Twitter when I do go and finally go live with that. So stay tuned to that. So that's what I've got planned as far as my gaming is concerned. What's on your gaming menu? Any titles that you've been going and picking up and been playing recently, or are you going and digging back into your back catalog? Maybe there's some titles that you've been going and spending some time with as far as practicing speedruns or other things like that, or just going and shooting for completionism, going and searching for that platinum trophy or going and getting 100% achievements. I'd love to go and hear from you, so if you have anything like that, please leave them in the comments below. Anyway, thank you so much for coming out and joining me for this week's weekly gaming menu, and I hope to go and see you again next week.